Today is February 9th, 2015, and I wanted to do a video blog today because I just want to talk through some things, get some direction, maybe get some prayer for wisdom on what course of direction to take. So if you listen to my last, or if you watched my last video, I was talking about different blogs that I am subscribed to and how I also want to start my own graphic design business. Through some of the different blogs like Freelance to Freedom Project, and then Sumo App, and then one other one, I can't remember. Anyway, I came across a blog called Flash by General Assembly. Well, upon more investigation on Friday, I realized that General Assembly is actually a school, not like your traditional college, like West LA College, but it's a school for all kinds of cool stuff that they have available. Anyway, they offer comprehensive courses that are kind of squished together in the evenings, so you can learn a vast array of stuff. Like they have UX design, like a whole course in UX design. It's not just like a UX design 101, but it's like everything that could get you launched in working in that field, in one course. They also have, classes like project management, back-end development, all kinds of stuff. Anyway, so what attracted me originally was it was like Dash by General Assembly, learn HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And if you watch my last video, this is something I'd like to learn because I want to start my own graphic design business, but I think one of the things that would be helpful is if I could also build web pages. Now, I have built stuff before using like Dreamweaver and stuff like that, and I know very simple basic HTML, but beyond that I don't have a clue. I went to college for multimedia, which really covered a vast range of stuff, and then I also went to school for computer animation. When we built our portfolio website, we used Dreamweaver, and heck, right now I use Wix.com. Awesome website, by the way. I really like their stuff. But it would be nice to be able to customize my own website, to even be able to like go in and do a WordPress and do all my own coding and stuff like that. So I think it would be really beneficial. I also think it would be really beneficial to my business, because I've had people who are like, oh, you do graphic design, can you build me a website? And I'm like, if I had Dreamweaver, I could build you a website, but no, I can't build you a website. So it'd be great to be able to be like, yes, I can build you a website and I can do the graphic design for it as well. And that also brings like repeat clients because, they need updates or maintenance or whatever on the website. I don't want to be a webmaster. That's not my goal. But I would like to be able to build a comprehensive website for somebody, do the graphics for them for a living. It's funny though, because there's like so many different things that, there's so many different avenues that I could potentially go into. For a while, I was interested in UX, visual design and UX design, which is user experience. If you don't know anything about UX, UI, pretty much it's how do people interact with like the function of a website or an app, and does it make sense to the usability of a person? And that's a booming business right now, and there definitely are. There's a high need for it. So that's one avenue that I could go into. I would personally be more interested in the visual design aspect of it, but it wouldn't hurt to, know the actual like function of the website and how that's beneficial, especially if I'm doing visual design. But if you work for a company, like a corporation, one person does the user experience stuff, which is the functionality and talking to people and doing the research of how this is going to work. One person does the layout of the whatever it is, the website or the app, and then the other person makes it pretty. And then in smaller companies or like startups, whatever, there's one person that does it all. So that is an avenue to go, and General Assembly has classes on that. I think they have a 12-week course on UX design. It's not the whole gamut, but it's UX design. But what I am interested in is they have a class for front-end web development. sorry, my brain took a second there. In web development that I'm really interested in. It's funny because it's funny how things come round full circle. When I was in high school, I was the chief online editor for our high school newspaper. Now, I wasn't super into like a lot of extracurricular activities in high school. I just wanted to paint and get out of there. I hated that place. I was, very angsty teenager. But this is one thing that I did pull into. I went into newspaper. I really enjoyed it. I had a cool experience. Got to meet a lot of really cool people. And I don't know how it so happened, but the guy who was the online editor before and webmaster before, he was super smart. He knew everything. He was really, really good, self-taught. I didn't know anything when I first came into this. I was just kind of pulled aside and, hey, would you be interested in this? I was like, sure. I don't have a clue about any of it, but sure, why not? So over the course of the summer before my senior year, he kind of taught me, what was the name of the program? Front End. Microsoft Front End, I think. I can't even remember. Anyway, nobody uses that now, but so I stumbled my way through that software, but he was really good at like customizing everything and stuff, and I just didn't know anything. So and the other thing is, he was really great at what he did, but he was a horrible teacher, and it was just hard to understand everything because he went so fast, and a lot of it was in his head, and he's just like, well, you just do this and this and this, and like he wouldn't show you how to do anything, which was really frustrating. So by the time I started my senior year of high school, I kind of had an idea what I was doing, but I really didn't. So a lot of it I learned myself. It's kind of a theme. I just end up teaching myself stuff. Anyway, that was, here I'll be 33 in a couple of weeks. And it's funny how things come full around because I did that my senior year. It was great, but it actually kind of put me off of doing website design because I felt so just like I didn't have a good foundation in it. And I ended up just kind of being aimless for a while. And then I took some community classes at Ames Community College in Greeley, Colorado. And I remember I took an animation class, and that was awesome. But I didn't end up following through. I was like 18, 19, and didn't follow through. I loved animation. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I loved working with the 3D software. And just never did anything with it. I don't want to go to my whole history. Anyway, so a couple of years later, I decided to go to a tech school for multimedia because they were like, oh, do 3D art, but they really encompass the degrees on multimedia. But I really thought I was going to be doing 3D art because that was what I wanted to do. Went to school for 2 years there, learned a vast array of software, but never really had a good foundation in 3D art or animation or any of that kind of stuff. So I ended up working for a year and a half in Westminster as a graphics project manager. So I ended up having to do a lot of like graphic design for clients, but I did a lot of project management as well. That was a huge experience. I'm really thankful for that time. And then after working there, through a series of things, I remember my mom called me one day and she was like, have you ever looked at Ringling College of Art and Design? And I was like, what the heck are you talking about? Well, her and my aunt had a conversation. My mom had been visiting the family in New Jersey, and they'd had a conversation, I think either on the way to the airport or the way from the airport, about my aunt's stepson who went there. And so he's like my step cousin. And he went to Ringling College of Art and Design. He graduated with a degree in computer animation and came out and worked. Well, he worked in Sarasota, Florida for a little while, and then he came out to LA, and he's been working here ever since. Now, he does more like code writing, I think, for tools and stuff like that. But it got him started, and he's been in the field. And so I was like, I wanted to do computer animation. I wanted to do 3D art. It was awesome. So I ended up, by the grace of God, getting into the school. It's not easy to get into Ringling for computer animation because everybody and their grandma wants to. And spent 4 years there. It was great. And so I worked in the field a couple years. The visual effects and animation stuff is just it's all exporting. Anyway, you'll hear all about that in my last video if you want to watch that. So I've got to figure out a way to make a living, and I've got to pull from the experience I have, and it's funny how things come back around, because now I'm looking at doing graphic design and doing web development, which over, was that, like 1999, maybe 1998, I was looking at doing web design, and it's just funny how things come back around. It's now, 2015? Oh my God, that was like 16, 17 years ago. What happened? My life has just flown by. Holy moly. Anyway, so I need like a comprehensive course to get me started in this and give me some direction so that I can offer more than just graphic design to people. This is something I'm interested in. So General Assembly offers this 10-week course. I think they do it every so often, but this one starts in March, and it's Monday and Tuesdays. Monday and Wednesdays, which would work perfectly with my schedule because I can't do anything on Tuesday nights. I already have another obligation. And the thing, though, is the course is $3,500. And I don't really have $3,500 just hanging around for a course. So that's an option I have to weigh. The thought came to me, and now I don't know if this is completely ridiculous and far-fetched and just out there, is what if I did like a GoFundMe or something like that? I don't know if that's just out there or I don't know. I'm just thinking of things. I'm thinking of a way to raise $3,500 because quite honestly, I am not taking out a loan, period. Not going to do it. I already owe so much money to Ringling College of Art and Design for my bachelor's. I am not going into any more debt, period. So unless this money magically appears or people hand me money, it's not going to happen. Plus, my husband and I last February took a Dave Ramsey course, and I don't know if you guys know who Dave Ramsey is. You can look him up on the internet. He's a financial guru, and his whole thing is getting out of debt, being completely debt-free, and living your life debt-free. So that's something that my husband and I have been working over the last year, because it's actually been about a year ago that my husband and I took the course, and got all my credit cards paid off. He doesn't have any credit cards. He doesn't have any debt, but I have my student loans. Both of our cars are paid off, all that kind of stuff. We don't owe any other money besides my student loans. So right now it's been funneling money into my student loans, get those paid off. But I know that this is a common theme. Most people have student loans if they went to college and they didn't have an extremely rich family to pay for it. So the thought was, man, it'd be really awesome to do this course. It's a 10-week comprehensive course. I think it would really get me jump-started into web development, front-end web development for people, and it looks really awesome. Two things, I'd have to raise the funds for it somehow, some way, not really sure. And the second one that I would have to figure out how to do is the class is from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. And on Mondays and Wednesdays, and it would take at least a half an hour, if not 45 minutes, to get over to the college because it's in Santa Monica and I work down south by Fox Hills Mall, which is like the 90 and the 405. So, yeah, and on a work night, it's going to at least take 45 minutes to get up there. So I'd have to figure out how to convince my boss to let me off at like 6 o'clock or 6:15 on Monday and Wednesday nights. I don't know if she would let me because she really needs me to work in the evenings because I work typically from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. on every day except for Fridays. So yeah, I don't know how that's going to work out. And I don't necessarily have to take this next course that's coming up in March. I'm sure they offer other courses later, so a little bit later in the year. that would give me a longer time to raise money and then convince my boss to let me have the time off for 10 weeks. We're kind of in a slow season right now, so it might actually work. I don't know. Yeah, so actually, if you pray, please pray that God would give me wisdom and that I wouldn't just be making dumb decisions, because I want to be wise about this. I want to have my research and organization, everything organized and really figure out how I want to pursue this and what I want to do. And if this course is even worth it, because I don't want to take a course that's just going to waste my money and waste my time. Okay, so that was my rambling for I have no idea how long. If you have any advice or anything, I know people could say, oh, well, go buy some books and learn it yourself. I could do that. That is definitely an option. And I probably will, because I'm sure this is just like a bare minimums kind of class. I mean, if you're trying to encompass all this stuff in 10 weeks, you're not going to be learning everything. But I think for me, I learn interactively. If I can talk things through, work with other people, have projects to work on, that helps me to really retain the information that I need to retain. So yeah, if you're interested in General Assembly, I'm sure you can go find them online. I'll post the link down below. If you have any advice or anything, or wisdom, or prayer, that would be awesome. Okay, I'm going to stop rambling now. Thanks for listening to me. Bye.